Yesterday, we talked about why you don't keep your book alive by promoting it, but you keep it alive by continuing the conversation, by continuing to connect with people. So, today, what I wanted to do is give you three simple ways that you can talk about your book right now, today. You can talk to real live human beings about your book, not to pitch it, not to get people to buy your book, but just by being able to say who you are and share who you are and what you wrote in your amazing book with the world. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 40 books and counting. Over the course of the last 40 years in business, I've been amazingly blessed to work with doctors, lawyers, nurses, multi-billionaires, but also stay-at-home moms, startup companies, brand new companies that were just starting out, companies that now are majorly, massively well-known companies, and companies that you've never heard of but have made major and massive impacts in what they do in the world as well. You see, everybody, absolutely everybody has a purpose in this world. There is a reason for who you are and what you do. The world needs you. Somebody is waiting on you right now to show up, to be the you, the only you can be, so that you can make the difference that only you can make. And I want to help you be able to do that. That absolutely, yes, it does start with your book. It is the beginning, and it also can, in some ways, be the end of the conversation. It is what you want to do to really, truly reach people, make the difference, be the person that you were always intended to be, and just really be who you're meant to be in this world. So exciting, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how do we simply talk about our book? Not sell it, but just, talk about it. How do we write posts about it? How do we do memes about it? What are the kind of things that we can and should and could do that would make a difference for our book, right? Okay, so the first thing, and we'll go 15 minutes or we might not, okay? I'm going to go through these fairly quickly because they're pretty simple, and I want you to know them versus me needing to preachy at you, okay? The first thing is, who is the one person you wrote the book for? Now you could couch it in words of, I wrote the book for this kind of person, okay? But really, I want you to think about that one specific person. Usually it's either yourself or a close family member or a client you worked with or somebody that you really do actually, when you think about the situations, you really do actually think about them. What I want you to do when you're talking about that kind of person is I want you to describe their struggles, not your credentials, not the, hey, I've worked with blah, 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 blah people, like I did with my little intro bio at the beginning. But I want you to talk about the people that are struggling with, just like I know many of you are struggling with how to make your book visible and valuable. That's what these 3 points are for, is for you to be able to make your book visible. Hey, Amanda, glad to have you here with us. Glad to see you today. Okay, so that's number one. Who is the one person you wrote your book for? Describe them. Describe the struggle that they're having. Yes, Amanda, so glad you're here. And then number two, what's one moment from the book that still matters to you? I love getting to reread your book and having those things that step out to you, the things that make you laugh, the things that make you cry, the things that make you still go, oh, hey, that's really deep. Okay. What is a moment from your book that still matters to you? Okay. Tell the story. Tell maybe the background behind it. And it doesn't matter whether it's a fiction or nonfiction book. It could be totally a story, a children's story that you wrote. But there's usually a backstory to it. I think about the book that I worked with the author, um, and it's called My First Day of School. And she wrote it to help her daughter prepare for her very first day of school. And really, she also helped herself prepare for, her daughter going off to school for the first time. It's an emotional thing for parents. Sometimes we don't really know it, and sometimes we do. But you know, that is the kind of story you can tell, the backstory behind both the struggles that maybe your child was having as they were thinking about starting school, but also maybe some of the struggles you were having as you were thinking about your child getting ready to start school, right? What's one moment from the book that really stands out to you that you can talk about today? Okay, number three, one step somebody could take today. Okay, now this, and I want you to always be offering people things they can do more with you. I love that kind of thing. I'm a marketer. I always tell you, always give somebody something else that they can do with you. Absolutely, totally there with that. Okay, Christy, glad to have you here with us today. But in this particular case, what I'm talking about is sharing with somebody the one thing that they could do themselves today. Okay. Um, you know, and yes, there is the concept of, you know, if the book could help you just to handle one thing today, it would be this. But I want you to think micro actions. So I want you to think about all of the scope of the entirety of your book and then think of one simple principle. Okay. Now I'm going to use a really simple, basic concept. I'm going to use it because I'm thirsty and I want a drink of water anyway. But it's a perfect hydration is a perfect example. Okay. Now, hydration is a huge, giant thing, but a very small micro win you can have for a person is if you want to start staying well hydrated, the first thing that you need to do is start drinking water right now. And you literally get them to get up right now and go and get a drink of water. And then you can give them, the small steps in it. Don't check one more email. Maybe leave your phone on your desk, because we get halfway there and then the phone rings or somebody sends us this super important text or, we get the cute puppy video that we just really need to watch real quick. The internet, right? So, maybe leave it on your desk, spin away from the computer, walk out to the kitchen, the refrigerator, where the water bottles are, whatever that might be, and get that water. Okay. And then what you might know from experience, if that's your specialty, is you might know, hey, what you really want to do right now is if it's a glass of water, drink the whole or half the glass or whatever, it depends on how big it is. But drink right now. Don't just go to the refrigerator, get a nice cold water bottle, bring it back to your desk, put it down on your desk, and then let it make sure that the desk doesn't float away for the rest of the day. That doesn't help you stay well hydrated, does it? See how, and that's just a micro win. And that's something they could do in, less than 5 minutes. Turn away from your computer right now, go to the sink and, fill up water, or go to the, thing on the refrigerator, or go to the refrigerator and get the water bottle, or go to the counter and get the water bottle, what have you, Simple, something basic that they can do. What is a one simple thing they can do, a micro action, a small win that they could do right now, today? And then, and here's a real secret to that, have them post and tell you when they did. Tell me when you did. Tell me how it went for you. Tell me the struggles you had, all of those kind of things. Because this not only makes you visible and valuable, but it turns that visibility into a conversation. You're not promoting, you're not saying, hey, if you went and you got my book, you could reach over like I've got here and you can go, hey, if you went and got my book, bestseller is only the beginning. You could learn that you having a best-selling book is only, okay, total pitch, right? And not saying that I don't want every single one of you to go right now, Run, Don't Walk, and get my book, Bestseller Zone, in the beginning. The ebook version is 99 cents. I kept it cheap on purpose. The print version is like less than $7. It's like $6.89 or something like that. I want people to get this book. Okay. I didn't write it to make money. I wrote it to get that concept out into the world. All right. I said don't pitch, and then I just pitched. I'm very sorry. But I do want you to know people are waiting on you. They're looking for you to interact with. You are absolutely in need and in demand. And if you have a book, if you need somebody to talk to find out which or all three of those angles to do with it, if you need help with that, just put the link to your book down in the comments. Let me give you some suggestions of the things, one of those three or all three of them, that you could do. And if you really want to go deeper, you can actually go to askstevekidd.com, hop on my schedule, and let's talk specifically about your book, and how to make it visible and valuable for the world. Because in the end, you don't really need better marketing. You need a clearer way to continue conversations that your book starts, or conversations to get people to wanting to start into your book. Just a conversation with one real person, one at a time. That's how we really truly reach and make an impact. And yes, even change the world. I'm so grateful for you. I hope you're happy, safe, warm, and loved. I'm going to be back again tomorrow, and we will do this all over again. And until then, I hope you have a great week.